1841, P.T. Barnum's American Museum was the showcase for the weird and the bizarre, and it included the mysterious Fiji mermaid. What? You've never heard of the Fiji mermaid?
Fiji mermaids. Barnum commissioned these banners to be presented around town of these beautiful women with fishtails and, you know, calling people to come and see the Fiji mermaids. And when they got there, it was a fishtail with the monkey sewed on and human hair and glass eyes. And it's wonderful.
Joe Coleman should know. He owns one. But if you want to see one for yourself, just head to New York City. Mermaids are just one of the many oddities found in Johnny Fox's remarkable collection of the strange and bizarre.
Welcome to New York City, New Amsterdam, home of the Freakatorium. Come on, I'm going to show you around.
New York's Lower East Side is home to Johnny Fox's Freakatorium. The storefront museum is a treasure trove of some of the earliest Sideshow memorabilia.
Well, the Freakatorium pays tribute to the Bowery dime museums of the 1880s, the Victorian age. Many of these performers that you see pictured here were photographed on the Bowery. It's where Jojo, the dog-faced boy, was exhibiting himself. This is where all these other characters, magicians, got their starts in dime museums.
A look inside the Freakatorium is like stepping back in time.
The Freakatorium is presented in a Victorian style, packed with narwhal tusks from Admiral Perry, and the taxidermy is Victorian taxidermy. Try to keep everything 1912 and earlier. There are some exceptions. We go up to into the 20s with the mutoscope here, with having the little peep show.
On every wall and in every case, you can see the unusual, the grotesque, and the truly bizarre.
Bone fragments of St. Matthew the Apostle. Go figure, here they are on the Lower East Side. Little slivers from the cross of Christ, too. There he is right there, the shrunken head formerly known as Prince. That's an actual human head of probably about an 18 to 20-year-old male from Ecuador. Sammy Davis's glass eye, there it is. Here's looking at you, freaks. Still making them smile on the Lower East Side, Sammy. It's the only thing in the collection that's not mine. It's on loan from a friend, and he was at the estate sale of Sammy Davis. Somehow, through some connection there, ended up with one of Sammy Davis's glass eyes.
But the Freakatorium really pays tribute to the legendary performers of the American Sideshow.
There's a list of great Sideshow greats that I always wanted to give them a prominent place in the Freakatorium. Jojo the dog-faced boy, it was a household name. I mean, how can you not have Jojo the dog-faced boy? It's like having a shrunken head. You can't have a Freakatorium and not have a shrunken head. You can't have a Freakatorium and not represent Jojo the dog-faced boy. So there he's up there next to Barnum. Lentini the three-legged man. You got to have him. I've got his last Sideshow banners painted by Snap Wyatt as well. They got some great Tom Thumb stuff. His vest, wedding invitations from when his wife remarried Count McGree. One of my favorite pieces in the collection is the Charles Tripp carvings, pieces that he carved with his feet. Charles Tripp was the armless wonder who worked for P.T. Barnum in the 1880s and had a long, long career.
All facets of Sideshow history are prominently displayed from floor to ceiling. But it's more than just a celebration of Sideshow freaks. There is an abundance of memorabilia from the great working acts of the day, including a prominent display dedicated to Johnny's inspiration and mentor, the legendary Melvin Burkhart.
As far as the working acts go, top of the list, Melvin Burkhart. He was the inspiration for a lot of this stuff. He was a sword swallower, the human blockhead, the anatomical wonder. Melvin did so many different acts in the Sideshow. There'll never be another. Melvin did the blockhead. That's him with this hammer right here. Hammered a spike into the skull, into the center of the skull. The center of the skull actually is the nose. That's right here. Kids, don't try this. The blockhead really gets people to squirm. People squirm on blockhead. They do not like to watch anybody. Women do not like to watch someone pound a spike in the nose. This isn't like putting beans in your nose. It's like putting spikes in your nose. Ah! Take me home to meet your dad, little girl. To get people to watch something that they don't want to see is a challenge for me.
When not at the Freakatorium, Johnny Fox can be found on the road, performing one of the most respected sword-swallowing acts in the country.
I love finding things that are different to swallow other than the sword. I have a giant screwdriver, a spoon, the coat hanger, scissors, the gun barrel, neon, the human jack-o'-lantern. Watch me glow. Neon is a must. I have to put neon in the act. And it's been a long time since sword swallowers had swallowed neon, and people said, don't do it. Sword swallowers told me, don't do it. I don't recommend people try sword swallowing. I've known too many people that have gotten hurt. Did you see it glow? It was common sword swallowers dying from neon. They would break, the tubes would break, and cut the esophagus, and the lungs would fill with blood. And it's a pretty quick death.
Very, very, very dangerous.
I've had a couple incidences where there've been blood on the swords, and I'm lucky. Born on Friday the 13th. I'll die on Friday the 13th too.
Ooh, any blood? So a kid one time said to his dad, "Dad, look, there's blood on the sword." I didn't even know. I looked down and said, "I guess there is."